Hey there, footy fans. Time for a bit more footy fun with FootyFin here in grand final week, and we're Friday now. So things are really hotting up. Of course, we got the AFL grand final featuring the Brisbane Lions against the Collingwood Magpies tomorrow, Saturday. And then the big dance, the NRL grand final on Sunday, Brisbane Broncos versus the Penrith Panthers, the Chocolate Soldiers, and NRLW final, the Gold Coast Titans up against the Newcastle Knights. And the Interstate Cup, the Brisbane Tigers, formerly the East Tigers, against the South Sydney Rabbitohs, I believe. Anyway, look, just wanted to take a bit of a different view on history here. But before I do that, Freddie Fittler has resigned as New South Wales coach after only being offered one more year, and in fact really more like half a year rather than the full year in terms of salary. Sorry, just adjusting my new hat here with the angle of the sun. So anyway, while Billy Slater, I believe, has signed on for another 3 years, the New South Wales Rugby League would not offer Fittler 2 years, and I can understand that. I wouldn't offer Freddie 2 years on the basis of last year alone, let alone the previous season. So there we have it, the hunt is on. But anyway, what I want to go into here is a bit of NRL grand final history, over the history of the NRL as we know it, which began in 1998, following the Super League debacle. I'm going to go back that far, and incidentally, that's a quarter of a century now. That's 25 years. And what I'm going to focus on here, so obviously we've got Penrith, who are the old hands. They're in their fourth straight grand final. They've won the last two. They're going for a three-peat against the new kids on the block, the Brisbane Broncos, only two of whom, Reynolds and Capewell, have played in grand finals before, and they were with other clubs. So we've really got the new kids on the block versus the old heads, right? And what I want to look at here, starting in 1998 right up until last year, is when did the new kids on the block lose the grand final to the older, more experienced team? When did the new kids on the block win? And then in a few instances, there was a case of two newbies playing in grand finals, just a handful of them, which we'll touch on. So how's it all going to shake up? All right, and listen, if you've got any queries in the comments here, because there's a few teams like Souths in 2021, after a few of them had played in the 2014 final. So even though 7 years had passed, they still retained a few from there. And similarly, Canterbury Bulldogs back in 1998. My phone's ringing. I'm just going to ignore it. That was in 98, the Bulldogs, but they had experience from having won the ARL Grand Final in 95, about 7 or 8 of them. Anyway, so let's get into it. I'm going to quickly run through the years. Starting in 1999, that was new versus new, and the Storm beat the Dragons. 2000, the new team lost, that was the Roosters. 2001, the new team lost, that was Parramatta Eels. 2002, the new team lost, that was the Warriors. In 2003, the newbies won, that was the Penrith Panthers against the Roosters. And again in 2004, the newbies won, that was the Bulldogs. 2005 was new versus new, Tigers versus Cowboys. 2006, the new team won, the Storm lost to the Broncos. 2007, the new team lost, that was Manly. 2009, the new team lost. That was Para. And listen, I acknowledge that the Storm had premiership stripped, but I'm just talking about who won and lost the grand final. 2010 was new versus new, Dragons v Roosters. 2011, the new team lost. That was the Warriors. 2014, the new team won. That was Souths. 2015 was new versus new, Broncos v Bulldogs. 2016, the new team won. The Sharks beat the Storm. 2018, the new team won. That was the Roosters. 2019, the new team lost. Canberra Raiders. 2020, the new team lost. Penrith Panthers lost to the Storm. And in 2022, the new team lost. That was the Parramatta Eels. So, over the course of NRL history across 25 years, the new team has lost 10 times. There have been 4 cases of newbies versus newbies in terms of grand final experience, and the new team has beaten the older, more experienced team on 5 occasions. Okay, so the odds based on that in the NRL era, the odds are with the Penrith Panthers. Not surprisingly, those stats show that the new team lost to the older, more grand final experienced team 10 times, whereas the new team beat the more experienced team on just 5 occasions, half as many. So there we have it. So the odds are in favour of the Penrith Panthers. They're the red-hot favourites. All the pressure is on them. The mighty Brisbane Broncos are the underdogs. Can they do it? All right, I'm going to go into one more stat here, and I'll do a different post, I think, on the statement that you've got to lose a grand final to win one. Don't have time to go into that here, but I want to look at the 4th grand final. This is the 4th straight grand final that the Penrith Panthers are in. What does history say to them in terms of how do things stack up? And of course, they're going for a historic three-peat that hasn't done since the Parramatta Eels exactly 40 years ago. So I'm going to go all the way back to the St George Dragon team that won 11 straight, 1956 to 1966. Of course, they won their 4th grand final in that string. They were followed by Souths. Souths played 6 grand finals in 7 years, and they played 5 straight from 1967 to 1971. Excuse me. Now, they lost all of those. They won all of those except the 3rd one, the middle one, 1969, they lost. I think it was to Balmain. So they did not get a three-peat, but they did win the 4th out of the 5 after losing that 3rd one. Roosters, slightly different here, but from 2000 to 2004, the Roosters played 4 grand finals in 5 years, only missing 2001. Out of those 5, and Freddie Fittler was involved and he was the captain, hasn't had a good run in grand finals, Freddie Fittler. He lost one, won one with the Panthers, and with the Roosters, he only won 1 out of those 5 in that time. So they only won the 2nd one in 2002. They lost the 3rd and the 4th grand finals in that string of 4 and 5 years. But then back to 4 grand finals straight, and I'm going to go across to AFL for a minute because we've got the AFL grand final tomorrow. Brisbane Lions versus the team everyone loves to hate, the Collingwood Magpies. Now, Brisbane had a three-peat, 2001 to 2003. They fronted up for their 4th straight grand final in 2004, and sadly they lost to the Port Adelaide Power. Similarly, the Eels had their three-peat achieved in 83, and then they came back for a 4th grand final in 84, and they lost to the Bulldogs. So both the Brisbane Lions from 20-odd years ago and the Eels from 40 years ago, in playing their 4th straight grand final, they lost the 4th grand final. However, it was after achieving a three-peat. So slightly different to Penrith because they're going for the three-peat, having lost the first of their 4. Anyway, what does it all mean? It's a fascinating build-up. Can't wait for the game, but I'm going to post another video between now and Sunday. Look out for that. Please like, subscribe, tell me what you think in the comments. Again, my Rugby World Cup videos are getting more than NRL, so you NRL fans need to do something about that. Anyway, till next time, catch you between the numbers and the post. See ya.